Canadian winters are very hard, especially when you don't have your spouse with you. Family spousal sponsorship privilege extended by the Canadian government, which allows you to have your spouse over to Canada on a permanent basis. Now, this is a PR application and it can come with its set of complications if you are not very much literate about Canada's immigration laws, which apply to your specific case in terms of you understanding the requirements when it comes to establishing your genuine relationship with your spouse. And that's one of the most important factors here in Canada when immigration officers are processing your PR application. Primarily, that's the first thing that comes into their mind. They need to spot if it's a legit marriage. Now, although it is a legit marriage, if you do not submit supporting documentary evidence to establish your relationship, there is a high possibility you could be given a refusal or probably a procedural fairness letter in which you'll have to explain as to why you omitted important documentary evidence with regards to your PR application for your spouse. Now, how do you establish that you have a genuine relationship? We have to look at the real world. We see spouses, they share their finances together. There is an element of financial support to each other. They have joint property ownership documents in their names. They have joint bank accounts. They have joint insurance policies. Now, all of these important documents will strengthen your case and it will establish that you do have a legit marriage. And let's suppose if your marriage happens to be a recent marriage where the marriage took place just like a few months ago. In that specific case, make sure to have your wedding photos with you with the application. Make sure you get the actual receipt of the wedding hall that's issued by the wedding hall as a proof that your marriage took place, in a certain wedding hall. And your family members and your extended social circle, if they are present at the wedding, make sure you have all of those photos. And right after marriage, let's suppose you happen to go back to Canada, make sure to save those air tickets. And once you have arrived in Canada, make sure you keep a log of your entire communication with your spouse. It could be over the emails, it could be over WhatsApp, video calling. Make sure you save all of this evidence and this will be uploaded with your application. You should at least submit 2 documents which display the same residential address for both the spouses. Now that could be an ID card back home and it can also be a joint bank account. And there could be problems if you had previous marriages or, for example, you were sponsored by someone else in the past. In that case, you can't really sponsor another spouse unless and until 5 years have been passed since you yourself became a permanent resident of Canada. Or probably you sponsored someone else in the past, then you must make sure that you had fulfilled your obligations in the previous undertakings. If there are any questions and concerns with regards to your previous undertaking with the previous spouse, then yes, there could be issues with regards to your PR application. And if you had previous marriages, make sure you have your divorce certificates ready. There are 2 situations which could apply to you. You could be applying for your spouse's PR application from outside Canada. In that case, that would mean both of you are living outside Canada. In that case, you'll have to give enough evidence to establish to the immigration officer that you will live in Canada once you get your PR approved. So in that case, I would strongly recommend to get at least 1-year lease agreement as evidence that you have a strong intention to live in Canada once you become Canada's permanent resident. And second situation could be you are in Canada and you married someone in Canada. Maybe the other person was on a temporary status here. It could be a student or someone else, maybe temporary foreign worker. You happen to get into marriage. And in that case, this will be considered as inland application from within Canada. If you are looking to sponsor someone over to Canada, whether it's an inland sponsorship application or outland sponsorship application, My name is Omar Khalil and I'm a licensed Canadian immigration consultant. If you are seeking for professional advice, you can book an appointment at the given link here. We'll have a detailed chat about your personal and professional profile for about 45 minutes to 1 hour. We'll do a complete assessment and get a sense of understanding as to where you stand, and of course we'll let you know how you can move forward and when you are ready to submit your application.